I'm the type of person who likes to be over prepared. I took all these baby classes and trying to learn what to expect before my baby arrived. There are a couple things I wish someone would have told me before having a baby. If you're new to my channel, hi, I am a first-time mom in my 30s and I have a 2-year-old son. I post mom content, helpful parenting tips, and my personal experience with motherhood. So if you're interested in that type of content, please hit the subscribe button below and let's jump into this video. All right, so I've never really been good with kids or babies, and I will say that there was one thing that I failed to research a little bit more into. I was a little bit naive and thought it would just be smooth sailing, and that definitely was not the case for me, and that is breastfeeding. So I've always knew that before baby boy arrived that I wanted to breastfeed, but I thought it would be nice and simple, baby latches and everything's great and perfect. But that definitely was not the case in my situation. For the first 3 months, I struggled. I remember his first pediatric appointment out of the hospital. They said that his weight was decreasing rapidly. And I know that it's typical for their weight to drop and then they gain their weight back, but his weight was dropping a lot faster than they would like. So we ended up supplementing with formula in order to make sure that his weight increased. So in that time, my milk supply was still extremely low. So we were doing triple feeds, breastfeeding, pumping, and then bottle feeding. And something that really helped out was my husband. He was tremendous in helping out with this process. He would do the bottle feeding. So because the feedings were so back to back, I just felt like it was mainly just feeding the whole time. By the time I was done pumping and my husband was done doing the bottle feed, it felt like I was breastfeeding him right then again. Because of my supply issue, breastfeeding alone took total 45 minutes to about an hour each session, which was insane. Now looking back, that was just a lot. My solution to this, if you do have your baby and you struggle with breastfeeding and that is something you wish to do not hesitate to get help. So talk to a lactation consultant. That's what we ended up doing. You can also get your baby assessed for tongue ties and lip ties, which is what our son had. The tongue tie and lip tie, that prevents the baby from latching correctly. Also, they have cheek ties, which my son didn't have a cheek tie. So we ended up going to a pediatric dentist in order to get the tongue tie and lip ties released. Make sure you go to a pediatric dentist in order to get this assessed, not your pediatrician. Go to someone who is specialized in assessing if your baby has those. So that did help out a little bit in our progress. From my research, it seemed like it was going to be overnight success of, okay, baby would be able to latch perfectly and breastfeeding would go smoothly. It helped a little bit, but not all the way. So after the 3 months of struggle busing with the triple feeds, it was really smooth after that, because as he grew, he gained a lot more strength in breastfeeding. So it was the 45 minutes to an hour and it got cut down to a lot less time to breastfeed. My milk supply ended up coming in. Then we didn't have to do the triple feeds anymore, which was great. So I ended up breastfeeding for 2 years. It was great. I love breastfeeding. So I'm gonna post a detailed video about my breastfeeding journey later on once I am ready to post that. I will say though, if it is your wish to breastfeed and it just does not work out or it's taking too much of a mental toll, it is okay to not breastfeed. Like always, a fed baby is a happy baby. So if you end up doing formula, that is okay. So just make sure that you're not stressing yourself out. So you may be wondering about the healing process after giving birth. And the typical guideline is 6 weeks to heal. And I just want to say that it is definitely a guide bright line. It's not strictly of, hey, after 6 weeks, you're good to do everything. No, that is not the case. At least it was not the case for me. It took me a long time to heal. With baby boy, I had a natural birth. I labored for 33 plus hours. I chose not to do an epidural, but I will say that healing afterwards took a lot longer than I thought it was going to take. At my 6-week postpartum appointment, I was still having many contractions, and that is to help your uterus to go back to normal size. And also like this like shocking pain, which I told my doctor about, and it was all normal. So I did end up with tears. I think 3 tears. I can't really remember how many. I don't know the extent of all of them. I just knew that one of the tears was a 3rd-degree tear. So yeah, so I had those stitched up, and don't go by just the 6-week rule for everybody, because everybody is different and takes different time to heal. I know society makes it seem like new moms, they are to heal up immediately and go back looking like what they look like pre-labor. Don't stress yourself out with trying to lose your baby weight as soon as you possibly can. Go what feels best for you. I know for me, my hormones was all over the place and I had anxiety. So it was just not the time for me to worry about me getting back to my pre-birth body. So that carries me into my next point of what I wish I knew before having a baby, is that postpartum anxiety is a thing. Now, I know postpartum depression, I feel like talked about a little bit more because I guess it's more prevalent, but I did not have postpartum depression, and as far as I know. So I already have like regular anxiety anyway, but this postpartum anxiety was on another level. I was having panic attacks and irrational thoughts. And I think for me, it peaked around the 3 or 4 month mark where it got the worst. That's right when around the time I was going back to work. Like it was so bad to the point where I almost quit my job. I was just like, I don't care. I just want to be with baby. It was to the point where it was getting unbearable. That's when I talked to my doctor about it, and I was prescribed, I think it was Zoloft, to help out with it. I am very, not anti-medicine. Well, I guess I am. I want to do like the natural route first to see if that helps out. And then if I do need to do medication, then so be it. But I was prescribed the anxiety medication, but I ended up not taking it. I went to a therapist, which helped out tremendously. I did tell myself that if it got to the point where I really needed to take the medication, I just would go ahead and do it. But at that point, it was starting to decrease. So I held out and did the therapy, I think every week or every other week, which helped out a lot. If I had known about the severity of it, I would have gotten help a lot sooner. I think that was one of my regrets, is just not getting help quicker. I think I was just thinking that it would just fade out and be okay. If it's something that you do go through, just make sure you ask for help, talk to your doctor about it, or go to therapy for it, just to make sure that you are all good. You're probably wondering about the baby's sleep. In the first 24 to 40 hours, the baby just sleeps wonderfully. That will change. It will switch very quickly. If your baby goes through thinking day is night, night and day, their sleep schedule will be all over the place. So just know that baby sleep schedules, they constantly change, because one day you'll have it all figured out, like, oh, okay, this is perfect. Got the naps worked out to a T. My son, he loves to sleep. But when we had it all worked out, then the very next day it would just switch up. So don't think that what worked yesterday is going to work today. Just know that their sleep is not going to stay the same, and it's going to switch up on you very quick as soon as you think you have it figured out. All right, speaking of sleep, this next one hit both my husband and I very hard because we were just both exhausted. So you'll probably argue more with your husband or your significant other during the newborn stage, because with the lack of sleep, you're both going to be exhausted and be a little bit shorter with each other. Before baby arrived, my husband and I, we really don't argue that much. We have disagreements, obviously, but after baby arrived, with our lack of sleep, we argued a lot and was very short with each other. But just be sure to have grace with each other. You're both learning all this new stuff with a new human being. Just also realize that you are both on zero sleep. What really helped for us was that realizing that we were on the same team and that we were in this together. Once you have that understanding, it's really easy to forgive and just move on. You want to definitely have open communication and talking things out with your significant other. That helps out tremendously as well. And then also splitting nighttime duties. So for us, when we were trying to wean for the nighttime feeds, we had our shifts split off in certain parts of the night, which really helped out, because if we were both getting up every time the baby cried or was awake, no one was getting sleep. So in order to make sure we got at least a set amount of sleep, for example, we would do like the first 4 hours, I would be on shift whenever the baby woke up, and then my husband would stay in the bed, he would stay asleep, and then the next 4 hours after that, my husband, he would get up and I would stay asleep. That helped us out a lot because we were able to get a set amount of sleep. Even though it wasn't 8 hours, it was still a good amount of sleep at once for each person. And that helped out with our shortness with each other. Babies, they grow fast, as you probably are aware. They grow so fast to the point where I was not expecting them to grow out of the clothes so quickly. I was just ready to buy all the fancy baby boy clothes, all the brand new outfits. Don't do that. I mean, you can if you want to. It's whatever. But my suggestion is to buy used clothes. Babies, they grow so fast to the point where you will have a set of certain sizes of clothes and they wouldn't even wear all the clothes that you got them. Save your money to buying brand new outfits. I'm not saying that you can't buy brand new outfits, because I bought a couple of brand new things that I really wanted him to wear, but most of his clothing is used clothes because babies grow so fast. And obviously, you know, if you are having a baby shower and guests, they gift you clothes, that's great. Another option is just getting secondhand clothes from siblings or from other family members that are giving away their baby's clothes. That helps out too. Probably the most important one on the list, and it's something I wish I knew before having a baby, which is don't be upset with what you don't know. I know my personality, any situation, I always try to over prepare and try to know everything before that situation happens. And with having a baby, you just don't know until you have one. No matter how much you research or how many baby classes you attend, there will just be something that will surprise you. My message to you would be to give yourself grace. You're a first-time mom and you're learning as you go. This is a new YouTube channel, so if you could subscribe, that would be great. Also, be sure to check out my next video that's on the screen that is suggested that you might like. Thanks for watching.